Hello viewers, I'm Maria Shakil. This is The Last Word. 24 hours after the success of Operation Sindoor, Pakistan attempted to retaliate, targeting 15 military targets in India to no avail. Our ever-alert forces not only foiled Pakistan's devious plans, but gave it back in equal measures. Today, also saw External Affairs Minister sit face-to-face with Foreign Minister of Iran, a good friend of Pakistan. India once again called out Pakistan for state-sponsored cross-border terrorism.
Compelled us to respond on 7th May by striking at cross-border terrorist infrastructure. Our response was targeted and measured. It is not our intention to escalate the situation. However, if there are military attacks on us, there should be no doubt that it will be met with a very firm response.
पाकिस्तान और पीओके में जिस तरह से हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस ने टेरर कैंप्स को नेस्त नाबूद किया है, वो हम सब के लिए एक गौरव का विषय है.
Pakistan attempted to engage a number of military targets in northern and western India using drones and missiles. These were neutralized by the integrated counter unmanned aerial system and other air defense systems. The debris of these attacks is now being recovered from a number of locations that prove the Pakistani attacks.
भारत की प्रतिक्रिया समान क्षेत्र में समान तीव्रता के साथ की गई. यह विश्वसनीय रूप से ज्ञात हुआ कि लाहौर में स्थित एक वायु रक्षा प्रणाली को निष्क्रिय कर दिया गया.
We have made the point very clearly that all attacks on the morning of 7th May were against carefully selected terrorist infrastructure, terrorist targets. It's also odd that the funerals of civilians are carried out with the coffins being draped in Pakistani flags and state honors being accorded. As far as we are concerned, the individuals eliminated at these facilities were terrorists.
On another front, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh briefed the all-party leaders about Operation Sindoor. All the parties stood behind the government, speaking in one voice. Before I bring in the guests, let's listen in to the reactions that came in after the all-party meeting.
एक जुट में कहा है कि सरकार का हर निर्णय को साथ देंगे, सेना के हर कार्रवाई को साथ देंगे, कोई इसमें विरोधाभास नहीं है.
इस संकट के घड़ी में हम सब आपके साथ हैं.
एक इंटरनेशनल कैंपेन हमको चलाना चाहिए TRF के खिलाफ.
Operation Sindoor has not only served as a counter to the Pahalgam terror attack, but also a bridge across India's parliamentary aisle. In the wake of the high-stakes retaliatory mission, politics witnessed something unexpected: consensus. Leaders from the Treasury benches and the opposition walked into the all-party meeting with political differences intact, but with a shared sense of urgency and responsibility.
सारे पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स ने मैच्योरिटी दिखाया है. इंक्वायरीज कुछ इंफॉर्मेशंस मांगे हैं. रक्षा मंत्री ने कहा है कि ये ऑनगोइंग ऑपरेशन है, इसलिए पूरे एक घटना को अलग से ब्रीफिंग या अलग से उसको प्रेजेंटेशन करना सही नहीं है.
पूरा सपोर्ट दिया हमने. जो खारगे जी ने कहा वो सही है कि ऐसी चीजें हैं जो डिस्कस नहीं करनी है.
So all the leaders of the party, political parties of India have participated in this meeting and expressed their voice as one.
Even AIMIM's Asaduddin Owaisi, a frequent critic of the government, commended the centre for Operation Sindoor. He went further, urging India to pressure the US and the UK to proscribe Lashkar proxy TRF, and called on China to act against cross-border terror networks.
Bring Pakistan in FATF grey list. That is very important. Then only they will bleed economically. This cannot be one-way street. The Chinese can really use their influence, impose upon on Pakistan what India wants, and tell the Pakistanis to hand over those terrorists to us.
In a bid to take the opposition into confidence, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh shared a crucial detail behind closed doors. telling leaders that over 100 terrorists had been neutralized as part of the operation.
They mentioned roughly, it has come in the media also, no? Roughly close to 100 people have, terrorists especially, they have passed away in the attacks.
Operation Sindoor served as a stark reminder that unity in moments of national crisis is not just expected, it is essential. As the nation watches, such political harmony shows that democracy's true strength lies not in division, but in standing together. Malavika Murli's report for NDTV.
And we will be listening to two politicians in just a bit. I spoke to them earlier today. But first up, let me bring in two former diplomats who's joining us on the last word tonight. Ambassador Rakesh Sood is with us. We also have Ambassador Vivek Karju. Ambassador Karju, coming to you first. The message that came in today from the Foreign Secretary's briefing was that there is no question whatsoever for giving in to what Pakistan's demand has been for an international probe, an impartial probe into the incident of 22nd. India believes that Pakistan has always indulged in delaying tactics and stonewalling investigations. We have given dossiers in the past, after 26/11, for example, and Pakistan has used that evidence to cover up its track.
Maria, I myself have given dossiers to Pakistan when I was heading for some time the Indian delegation to the joint anti-terror mechanism, which lasted very briefly. And I know the futility of giving such dossiers to them. Terrorism is part of the DNA now of the Pakistani security forces. They use terrorist proxies to pursue their strategic objectives. Therefore, it is impossible to conceive that they would ever abandon them. Second, I think the Foreign Secretary was absolutely right when he said that the demand for impartial probes, etc., are nothing but a ruse. And it is good that we simply ignore this. There can be no doubt that this terrible massacre at Pahalgam was carried by them, out by the Pakistanis, and I don't distinguish between Pakistani terrorists and those who sponsor them, who are part of the Pakistani state. So it was a Pakistani action. I think we showed exemplary and strategic patience, like we had done in the surgical strikes and at Balakot aerial strike, to target only Pakistani terrorist installations. I think what took them by surprise was the ferocity of our action and our ability to penetrate their defenses and land ordnance in Bahawalpur and Muridke, two places which occupy a very significant, how should I put it, a significant, even an iconic status in Pakistan's terror infrastructure. Bahawalpur is the headquarters of the Jaish and Muridke of the Lashkar. So our ability to get to Bahawalpur and Muridke, I think, has shaken them. And that is why you now have a litany of lies and falsehoods being perpetuated and spoken by the Pakistanis. My last point.
Yes, sir.
I think we have what I now call by now a Modi doctrine. It began with the surgical strikes in 2016. It continued in 2019, and now it is sort of solidified with Operation Sindoor. And that doctrine is this, that if Pakistan undertakes an unacceptable terrorist attack in India, India will respond through kinetic action.
Yes.
Earlier on, and Rakesh will correct me, he's an expert on these issues, earlier on the Pakistanis used to threaten us with escalation.
Yes, and this is the model.
And my last point, just one more word.
Sure,
I think the Foreign Secretary did extremely well to articulate, which some of us were saying for many years, that escalation begins with a terrorist attack. And it was very good that Vikram Misri said it loud and clear.
Absolutely.
That escalation began with what happened in Pahalgam.
Absolutely, sir. That is my question to Ambassador Sood. Ambassador Sood, India's message is that Pakistan is the original aggressor here. That it is that day, 22nd, is when the aggression began. India has only responded 2 days ago. And then again, another round of aggression came in from Pakistan when they tried to target 15 of our cities, military installations in 15 cities, which were again thwarted by Indian armed forces. Ambassador Sood, if you heard me.
Yes, I did. I agree with everything that you've said and what Ambassador Karju said. In fact, it was made clear by the Foreign Secretary that our action excluded any military targets, number one. And number two, it was intended to be non-escalatory. So there was a very clear indication. By the way, this was a very similar message that had been given in 2016 as well, after the surgical strikes, and also in 2019 after Balakot. However, the fact still remains that we still have to find a way out in order to de-escalate tensions. Because as we saw, as you yourself mentioned, today we are now in phase of Operation Sindoor 2, phase 2, as your blurb also indicates. So this is the second stage where we are now seeing drone strikes. Pakistan is blaming us. We are blaming Pakistan for drone strikes. There are reports about Lahore airport and various other airports having been closed down in on Pakistan, and that Lahore air defense has been destroyed. There were reports about an explosion there. So obviously, we still don't have any route towards de-escalation. And now the question remains that what happens if there is a Operation Sindoor phase 3? What shape or color will it take? I have absolutely no hesitation in agreeing with everything that Ambassador Karju has said as well. But it is in both our countries' interests, in a sense, to find a way towards de-escalation, because I do not think that either country wants a full-fledged war, and clearly that is out of the question. We have made that clear that that is not our intention. The Foreign Secretary's statement makes that clear. And to the extent that we have seen the Pakistani statements, they have also indicated that India was the aggressor, etc., etc. So, for whatever it is worth, the idea is that both sides need to find a way out of this, need to find a face-saving mechanism out of this.
The message that came in again from India was, Ambassador Karju, that India's retaliation was non-escalatory, very focused and very targeted, with immense precision on known terror camps rather than civilian installations or military installations, as is being done by Pakistan or attempts being made by Pakistan. It's a very clear messaging coming in from India. The communication is direct. Very matter-of-factly, and I would say with great degree of sobriety.
I must confess I'm a little confused.
Okay.
With what Rakesh has articulated. Of course, we should. War is not in anyone's interest. Of course, de-escalation is the right path. But it takes two hands to clap. We have shown amazing restraint. We said right at the beginning that our action is measured, it is proportionate, it is non-escalatory, it is non-provocative. Rakesh himself has said that we went after terrorist targets. Last night, the Pakistanis went after military targets to test, I suppose, our air defenses, stretching from Avantipur to Bhuj. 15 airports in all, air bases in all. Now, escalation, we are not doing escalation. Who has to walk the path of de-escalation? It is Pakistan. And I don't believe that this threat, it's gone on for too long, for decades, that this threat of nuclear, that both countries are nuclear states and therefore India should not pursue kinetic action when required, is something that India should avoid. We went after terrorist targets. They have chosen to go after military targets. We are responding. So if any country has to walk the path of de-escalation, and I think their friends, the Iranians, the Saudis, the Americans, the Chinese in particular, have to advise them. We cannot help Asim Munir if he is locked in a domestic political dispute with Imran and has to save face. We cannot help Asim Munir if he has to save face in the garrisons and if he has to save face with his generals. What do we do then? Continue to suffer terrorism?
Hold on to your thoughts, because there is a piece of breaking news that is coming in now, and these are the visuals that are coming in. Let's go full frame with it. These are the visuals coming in now from Jammu. I would request the PCR director to go full frame. Yes, these are the visuals that have just now come in. India has intercepted multiple Pakistan missiles over Jammu. There is a total blackout which has happened in Jammu. We are trying to connect with our reporters now to get more details on this. So drones intercepted is what we can tell our viewers. Sirens and blackout in Jammu. Explosions now heard in Kupwara, and Pak drones have been intercepted in Jammu. Shiv is joining me on the phone line. Jammu has gone into total blackout, Shiv. In fact, more videos have started coming in now, and we will be sharing that with our viewers in just a bit. These are the visuals coming in of Jammu, in fact, which is now witnessing total blackout because of explosions that are heard in Kupwara. These are Pak drones which have been intercepted in Jammu. Remember earlier this morning, between the intervening night of 7th and 8th, Pakistan attempted to engage a number of military targets in northern and western India, including Avantipur, Srinagar, Jammu. Now another attempt being made by Pakistan using drones. Nazir Masoodi is joining us on the phone line. Nazir, give us the details.
Well, I'm in Kupwara and I could hear this a while back, sirens, sounds, and it was followed by blackout. But the worst thing is happening in Jammu, where there's a lot of chaos and confusion. After sirens, there was complete blackout, and there were objects which were being fired, whether they were missiles or drones. But fortunately, our India, air defense system is activated. It appears that this army has been able to foil these attacks like they did yesterday, because yesterday there were 3 attempts in Jammu last night, One was Jammu, Srinagar airfield and Avantipura airfield. And in fact, I remember in 2021, June 20, there was the first drone attack on Jammu Air Base, which caused some damage. But since yesterday, there have been attempts, and since this evening, we see this chaos in Jammu city. People are trying to figure out what exactly is happening because they can see our missiles or drones. They're flying, and I could see some of the visuals from Jammu, which clearly shows the state under attack. But fortunately, as I said, our defense system has activated like yesterday, like in other 15 cities, how our armed forces actually neutralized those attacks. It appears this too has been neutralized. But it is clearly an escalation from Pakistan, where they have been trying to target people of Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen in Kupwara there were air sirens, but fortunately there has not been any information of any attacks so far. And as the air defense system is completely activated, the way it has been foiled before, it appears it would be foiled again. But fingers crossed, we are trying to find out more what has exactly happened in Jammu.
Okay, what can we tell our viewers at this point, Nazir? Jammu has gone total blackout. Is it across the city or only in some pockets?
Most of the information I'm getting, but people should remain calm, be in their homes or wherever they are, take some shelter. That is the basic thing, because when we're talking about mock drills, these mock drills are all about educate people what to do when there are air sirens are sounded. So that's what the people should do. Just check your do blackout. Just don't have remain cautious. Be somewhere at a safe place wherever you are. And I can tell you that the way our air defense system was alert, activated, while Pakistan tried to attack 15 cities, all the attempts were failed and they were foiled. These too would be foiled. But people have to be calm but cautious, of course, remain safe, remain alert. And there have been attempts. It's not an easy situation, we all know. There have been attempts, imagine the people in border areas, as in Kupwara since yesterday, and I have been seeing here that how hundreds of people living in Tangdar and other areas of Karna, they have been shifted to different colleges and schools. It's a safer places so that they remain safe. So the administration is actually reaching out to people. I can tell you, whether this is district administration in Kupwara or this is district administration in Poonch and Rajouri, they have been reaching out to people, but the large number of people had to flee from their homes in border areas for safety since yesterday morning, after Pakistan violated ceasefire, resorted to artillery shelling. Now we see this is the second attempt from the Pakistan within 12 or 15 hours to target Jammu and Kashmir, and this complete blackout in Jammu. And I believe what we are hearing, that the objects which were being fired, other missiles or drones which were being used, most of them have already been neutralized. We are trying to get more information, but for people, they have to remain calm and cautious. Be at a safe place wherever you find it.
Ghazali as well, because reports now coming in of a heavy artillery firing reported now in Samba sector, both artillery and drone attack which is happening in Samba. And we'll try and connect with Ghazali, who will be joining us live any moment now. But this is an attack which has happened by Pakistan, unprovoked again, attempt by Pakistan, which is indulging in this kind of attack on India. Pakistan missiles intercepted in Jammu, and Pakistan has fired missiles over Jammu. Another Pak attack which has been thwarted now. When did this actually happen, and is it continuing right now, Nazir?
Well, I can tell you, as I said, this in the Samba sector, normally it is the international border. Remember, there are two types of borders, de facto borders in Jammu and Kashmir. One is line of control, which is like 700 kilometers long. Then we have from Akhnur onwards up to Kutwa, we have international border, and Pakistan calls that it as working boundary. So in that international border, there has been heavy shelling. And why there is difference between international border and the line of control? Line of control, you have it is manned by the army, and international border is manned by the BSF, and on the other side it is Rangers. So in that case, it was BSF. We don't know whether it is, but heavy shelling is going on in this international border also in Samba. We're getting more details. As I said, I am trying to gather more details, but it is very, very tense situation along the line of control and international border in Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, news also coming in of ceasefire violation by Pakistan in Samba sector. It has happened in Jammu. So artillery firing reported in fact, missile intercepted in Jammu, what we can tell our viewers. Drones and missiles, heavy artillery also being reported now. Shivarur is also joining us. Reports coming in of an incident which has happened also in Pathankot now. For all the viewers, the sense is that the civilians must stay indoors. That is the announcement which is coming in. There is a need for complete calm at this moment. That is what is needed at this juncture. So viewers, stay, Pakistan is continuing to engage a number of military targets in northern and western India, including Avantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Kapurthala. We have Shivarur joining us on the phone line. Shiv, give us the details. What are we looking at?
This is absolutely incredible footage that we're looking at right now of this late evening interception of Pakistani loitering munitions or attack drones, possibly even short-range missiles. We're not clear yet, but these seem to be loitering drones, Maria, trying to attack targets including Jammu, Pathankot and Samba. What you see on your screens are basically the Indian Integrated Air Defense System interception projectiles launching into the air and destroying the incoming Pakistani projectiles in the air. This is a huge escalation by Pakistan. Remember, this basically constitutes, Maria, the second attempt by Pakistan since yesterday to attack these cities. There's no confirmation yet from the government about whether they have attempted to attack other cities. But from these pictures that we're getting from our contacts on the ground in Jammu and elsewhere, as well as the government, is that these are basically Pakistani incoming projectiles attempting to strike with violence in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. And these are Indian interceptors finishing them off in the air. It's an incredible display. This reminds one of what we've seen in Israel, when the Iron Dome system has taken out incoming rockets. Of course, this is a much more sophisticated system and much more sophisticated incoming missiles, but this is going to be seen as a major escalation by Pakistan. Remember, this comes after the confrontation between the two sides already, where Pakistan tried to target at least 15 cities with missiles and drones in the last 24 hours, all of which were thwarted by Indian Integrated Air Defense. But what we're seeing now is the first visual evidence of that actually taking place, Maria. And this is unprecedented in terms of the combat visuals that we're seeing as part of this cycle of conflict between India and Pakistan. The visuals that we see in their myriad appear to suggest that multiple incoming projectiles of different kinds, possibly slow-moving drones and maybe some fast-moving missiles, which would basically mean that the integrated Indian air defense system, which look like tracer fire, the little red dots you see are all the interceptor projectiles going up from the ground to hit the incoming Pakistani projectiles. We'll have more clarity once there is, a damage assessment. It doesn't look like any of these incoming projectiles has managed to hit their target, which is incredible. But we are still waiting because this is a live, evolving situation in different sectors. One in Jammu we can confirm, the other in Pathankot we can also confirm. and a third in Samba is what we're hearing about. There's also been a big escalation on the line of control in the Jammu sector at this point of time. I'm returning right now from the Kupwara sector where we hear that there have been sirens there as well, but we can't confirm that. But this is an incredible display of Pakistan once again daring to escalate things. This puts the ball very much in India's court once again, Maria. I think any speculation about whether this was going to lead to a de-escalation or an escalation until a few hours ago, I think the pictures that you're seeing on your screen settles that debate in a very troubling manner. Pakistan, for 2 days in a row, attempting to target big cities. Now, in Jammu, there are a lot of military establishments. The Northern Command is not very far from Jammu. It's in Nagrota, near Udhampur. You've got a lot of other military establishments in Jammu as well. A very large cantonment in Jammu.